I have heard about a boy who, up until now, spent his whole life trying to be somebody, a name that people would remember, and a face that stood out in the crowd. This boy followed trends, he did what others admired, and he carefully built a version of himself that looked impressive. He wanted to leave a legacy. But one day, exhausted by the constant pressure to prove himself, he traveled to a remote monastery known for its wise master. The master was thought to have special powers. He bowed before the master and said, "I want to be extraordinary, like you. Teach me the way." The master chuckled. "Extraordinary? Why?" The man frowned. "Because I want my life to have meaning. I want people to look at me with admiration." The master nodded, then handed him a heavy rock. "Carry this with you. Everywhere you go," he said. "Hold it high above your head at all times. Never put it down." The man was confused, but followed the master's instructions. Hours passed, and then days, and the rock became unbearable. His arms had completely ached, and his legs trembled. His back screamed in pain, and he finally dropped the rock and fell to the ground, gasping. The master laughed. "Why did you drop it?" And the man wiped the sweat from his brow. "Because it was exhausting. I couldn't carry it anymore." The master smiled. "So why do you carry your ego? Why do you hold up the illusion of being special? The burden is yours. The moment you let it go, you will be free." And this is the pressure to be somebody. Society tells us that we must be special. We must stand out, we must be unique, be better. And consumerism basically operates in a way to make us feel inferior and constantly strive to be better. And so we start chasing the extraordinary, trying to be different, trying to impress, trying to be something more than what we are. We sculpt our personalities based on what will gain approval. We shape our lives around what others admire, and we act in ways that will get us validation. But honestly, the need to be extraordinary is just another trap. The need to be seen as special keeps you imprisoned in comparison, anxiety, and constant performance. It makes you afraid of failure, desperate for approval, and addicted to validation. And what do you get in return? Nothing but exhaustion. I'm sure most of you are aware of this. So let's turn the page. Now let's flip the page to the beauty of ordinary life. Because the irony of life is that the moment you stop trying to be extraordinary, you become extraordinary. But not because you're doing anything special, but because you're finally free. When you drop the need to be someone, to prove something, to impress others, you discover this deep peace. And it's a peace that only comes when you no longer need anybody's approval. And in that peace, something happens. You laugh more because you're not worried about how you appear. You enjoy life more because you're not obsessed with achieving. And you connect deeply with others because you're no longer pretending. Ordinary life is not boring. It is liberating. To wake up in the morning and not need to impress anyone. To speak your mind and not care if people agree or disagree. To enjoy the small things without chasing giant achievements. That is freedom. That is true joy. There is a massive lie that we're all being spoon-fed every single day, and that's the lie of standing out. Because people really do believe that to be happy, they must be recognized, they must be admired and respected. But what they don't realize is that the pursuit of admiration is an absolute prison. Think about it. If you live your life constantly trying to be noticed, trying to stand out, trying to be different, who are you really living for? Definitely not yourself. You're living for the audience, for the applause, and for the opinions of others. And when you live this way, you're never going to be at home within yourself. You just become a performance, a show, an act. You laugh less because seriousness looks super impressive, and you hold back your joy because being cool matters more. Suppressing the true self because society rewards the fake, but deep down you know the truth, that you are exhausted trying to be somebody is the heaviest burden of all. The greatest freedom is to let go of performance and embrace presence. The people who live the most joyful lives are not the ones who are famous, rich, or powerful. They are the ones who are real. And if you want to be truly happy, drop the act. Stop trying to impress anyone. Let people think what they want to think. Their opinions are not your reality. Laugh freely. Don't take life so seriously. Our egos hate laughter because laughter is light. And we don't need to seek approval because we don't need permission to exist. You don't need validation to be worthy. So let's let go of the need to be unique because, quite frankly, you already are, and there's no effort required. Just enjoy the moment. Ordinary life is beautiful when you stop trying to escape it. So that brings us to our final truth. People spend their entire lives trying to be noticed and leave a legacy. The legacies fade, names disappear, and history forgets. What remains is the moment. What remains is how deeply you lived, how freely you laughed, and how fully you loved. You don't need to be special. You don't need to be somebody. You just need to be you. And in that, you will be extraordinary. If this resonated with you, I host a free group. The link is in the description. It's just active meditations. I'm trying to build a community of like-minded people. I don't have anything to sell you in there. So yeah, come get active and meditate and embrace the stillness of our true being. Blessings.